Let's do sports now on the AM show. My name is Harun Mubarak. We start at Ghana's 67th independence anniversary, where President Akufo-Addo promised an exciting Africa Games ceremony tomorrow. Now, Ghana is hosting the multi-sports event for the first time in its history, and the government spent about $195 million on infrastructure, and about 13,000 participants are expected to be present for the 15-day continental event. Welcome back, and we sincerely apologize for the technical hitch there. Now, during Ghana's 67th independence anniversary, President Akufo-Addo promised an exciting African Games ahead of the opening ceremony tomorrow. Now, Ghana is hosting the multi-sports event for the first time in its history. The government spent about $195 million on infrastructure, and about 13,000 participants are expected to be present for the 15-day continental event.
Ghanaians, on Friday, 8th March, the 13th African Games will be officially opened in Accra, and we shall be playing host to 53 African nations that will participate in the Games. We've gone to a lot of trouble and expense to be able to stage the Games, and we are expecting them to be successful. I'm looking at our guest of honor, President Alassane Ouattara, and I wonder if I should draw some parallels. He has also just staged the AFCON 2023, which was postponed to 2024, instead of the scheduled 2023. The Games here, too, should have been held in 2023, but were postponed to 2024. Football tends to attract more attention, and therefore the AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire dominated the headlines for the 1 month it took place. The Ivorian national team, the Elephants, defied all odds and won the competition. I am not promising a Ghana clean sweep of track and field. That would be a miracle. But I'm promising a happy and exciting month for all our visitors. We in Ghana know how to set the lead. We did it in 1957. When we were the first African nation in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence from colonial bondage. We have got other firsts with doubtful boasts, but we have always managed to get out of difficult situations with amazing grace. We owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to be that shining black star. We owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to continue to have a democracy of which we can be proud. And we owe it to ourselves and to the rest of Africa to be a prosperous nation. And we are getting there, and we shall get there.
Now, American Olympic gold medalist Edwin Moses arrived in Ghana yesterday as a special guest for the Africa Games. He landed in the afternoon at the Kotoka International Airport and received a rousing welcome from the crowd gathered to greet him. Edwin is a board member for Sports Equity Lab, which aims to drive social justice and inclusion in sports through rigorous research and community events.
The African Games. I'm here with the African Games and also with the Sports Equity Lab. We're doing some work here for sports equity. I'm a director of the foundation. And this is our chairman here, Dr. Tuakli. We're here to try to make a difference in the world of sports. Okay. That people run and finish the race. That's all you could expect. I don't have any expectations. I don't know who the athletes are. Track and field is a great sport, so in a sport like track and field, it's very objective. It is what it is. So I don't have any favorites. I don't even know who's running, but I'm sure it's going to be a great event.
Sports Equity Lab is a nonprofit organization that's committed to driving social justice and decency in sports. So we've got a great board of directors. One of our directors is the great Dr. Edwin Moses. I'm also on the board of directors, also a founder. We've got Sarah Klein, who's a great lawyer, and a multitude of volunteers. So our goal is to create equity and social justice in the sports field.
What has been achieved so far with that project? What have you achieved so far?
Oh, we've achieved a few things. We've done 3 events here in Ghana. This will be number 3. And each time we come, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. We've got a great sponsor called On. It's a Swiss-based running company backed by Roger Federer. And they, similar to us, believe that human rights through sports and in sports is an imperative part of society. And so we're very much aligned with our sponsor, very much aligned with our mission, and hopefully here in Ghana, event number 3, on Independence Day at the African Games, we'll be able to further the mission of driving social justice and decency in sports.
Now, on February 8th, German side Stuttgart's under-12 team embarked on a trip to Ghana as part of the club's efforts to immerse the boys in a culturally diverse environment. There's more in this report. The players were accompanied by Yannick Ruppert, head of sports organization at the Stuttgart Academy, and Tim Kirk, head of training for the under-12 team. The visit is part of the club's social program Caring for the Roots, which connects children from Europe with children in Africa. As part of the visit, the players built an aquaponics center using plastic bottles and also built a solar system for a learning center in a small fishing village in Krokrobite. They were engaged in football matches with players of the local community. Jane Zohun Gbogbo is the founder and CEO of the Krokrobite Children's Center, and she explains the impact of the experience on the local Ghanaian children.
So the work that we do is quite varied. We're very much a grassroots, community-based organisation, which means that when we do have visitors, we really don't offer them what I call a scrubbed up, sanitised experience of Ghana. It's very much real life. And we want them to see that because we want them to have a genuine experience. And from that, people learn, not just in this case, the young players that came to us from Stuttgart, as well as the parents and the coaches too. But also the young people and the children that we're working with and the other members of our community have a real opportunity to learn from them as well. So there are huge benefits for everybody.
Yannick Ruppert, on his part, explains how the Stuttgart youngsters would benefit from the experience.
Like, I think a lot of them were very, very pleased and see like we were, what privileges we have in a country like Germany, and how people have different obstacles in life that we might not experience in Germany. So I think this quite sums it up. I think a lot of them were it taught them humility in many ways, and I think that's a very important part of a process.
Stuttgart is not new to Ghana, having had Ghanaian players on their books dating back to 1994, when defender Akufo-Addo first joined them. In more recent years, Black Stars midfielder Ebenezer Ofori featured for them, while Hans Nuno Sarpei was on their books in 2019. Currently, Guinean striker Serhou Guirassy is powering them to Champions League football with his 20 goals this season. Tim Kirk hopes the players will take the lessons learned on their trip to make them better individuals.
Almost ask the question, why is that? And it leads into a conversation of how complicated we here make our lives. And actually, they start to then question, okay, well, what is it that's actually important? And those conversations are taking place at the moment. And I think they make more sense of those conversations a bit later on, but the process of them starting to think about it is happening already. The second thing that is very apparent is how more confident they are. And my favorite part of the week was on the Saturday, the boys had to prepare a maths lesson or a maths activity. And really the maths activity is to spark a bit of interaction and engagement with the kids. And the kids go into this activity thinking, okay, I am going to teach the kids or help these kids in the area of maths. And it was particularly challenging this time because they had to do it in English, and these are kids who have been learning English for 2-3 years, and so they were quite nervous about it. But as the time goes on, they did it for about 2 hours. what you start to see is that it's not like the boys from Germany teaching the boys from Ghana or something. It ends up sort of being like that, where they start to learn from each other, and then it actually tips the other way, where our boys are learning more from them, and the confidence that they've gained from this, and it's hard to describe. You see an immediate change in their personality.
And all of this has been as a result of the club's careful integration programs that allows African players to thrive at the club. In that regard, the club is building the next generation of talents by introducing them to different cultures at such an early age.